The devil, this mystery darkens.
This investigation provides us with a new corpse every day. Come, Watson, you can read that later.
It looks like we are in the midst of the Bronsby workers' demonstration.
Here we are, Watson, 29 Strokes Alley.
By Jove, if it isn't Sherlock Holmes.
Hello, Appleby. You're always nearby when there's a whiff of gunpowder in the air, aren't you?
Of course, Mr. Holmes. But what are you doing here? Aren't you working with Inspector Lestrade on the Bromsby investigation?
Appleby, I have every reason to believe that the murder of Hunter directly relates to that very case. May I ask you to tell me what you know, and then give me leave to examine the scene?
Of course, Mr. Holmes.
What are the facts?
Last night, between 9 and 9:15, a fellow came for me. I was at the pub, which lies a bit further down the lane. He told me that there was the sound of a shot from this bungalow. When we got here, the door was locked. After the landlady got her key, I opened the door. There I saw the dead man lying on the floor. And here we are.
What did you do next?
Well, Inspector Gregson is in charge of the case. He's due to arrive today to start the official investigation. At least they've removed the body.
Do you have any further details about his death?
He was killed by a bullet right through his heart. There was just one shot. At first glance, it appears to have been a small caliber weapon. His landlady told me that he was a common fellow with nothing to remark about, no friends to speak of, not even a lady friend.
A lonely soul.
He has been staying here for 2 years. The landlady told me he spent most of his time with this flower garden. Indeed, I can't believe that somebody could murder a man because of his hydrangeas.
Who has been inside?
Only myself and my assistant to help with the removal of the body. The landlady made her identification of the man after he was removed and then left for her sisters.
Have you found anything in the room that points to the murderer?
For the moment, no. When I entered the first time, the window facing the street was open. I closed it and secured the shutters as well. It is possible to expect anything with those demonstrators in the streets. Does this advance the investigation of the Bromsby case?
If you could wait for me here, Watson. Could you open the room for me now, Appleby? It's a trace of human blood. Strange sketches. This is brand new. This footstep is incomplete. It is larger than a size 8, but smaller than a 12. Someone used this window to leave. Thank you, Appleby. I have learned nothing conclusive. Tell me, Watson, would you mind strolling in the garden to wait for Gregson? Nothing of any interest here. Some of these flowers are not from England.
What in the name of reason are you looking for, Holmes?
What a curious small flower. Several bills for the sum of £21. Watson, we need to secure the item that was pawned under this ticket with all due haste. Could you take care of it? We shall meet this evening at Sherringford Hall.
All right, Holmes.
Let us return to Baker Street. We must learn the identity of the dead man discovered in the cement factory. Let's examine his belongings. A bottle of liqueur from the Richmond Abbey. I must have a book that speaks about this abbey. Richmond's Abbey. I believe it was built in the 15th century to house an order of Anglican monks. It should surely be there. Let's visit this place, but in disguise. Let's see if this place is located on the map. I must learn more about this abbey before I travel to the forest.
Yes, my son?
I am sorry to disturb you, brother, but, well, you see, I have a matter of great importance which led me here, and I'm certain that you may be of help. Well, I am looking for my brother. Not a brother like yourself, but rather my brother by birth. He might have joined the order, but I think it is unlikely. You see, he has not always chosen the right path in life. I recently learned that he had had some troubles, and I have been frantic to find him. One of his acquaintances told me that my brother had spoken of Richmond's Abbey. My brother's name is James Little. Perhaps you know of him? If I ask you some questions, would it trouble you? It would at the least help me to learn whether he is here. He is unaware, but recently we received a small inheritance. I think if he were told of this, it would ease his mind and help him put these troubles behind him. This forest is most impressive.
It is very large. If someone were to hide in there, it would be most difficult to find them.
The Abbey produces a fine liquor, doesn't it?
Yes, we distill a liquor that contains medicinal herbs. It does allow us a small income, but it also can attract certain rascals. That's why we are mindful of inquisitive strangers.
Have there been any burglaries?
Oh, we do get the occasional tramp. They sometimes seek shelter in the old ruins that lie in the midst of the forest. They have been known to trespass into our sacred cloister, seeking some sustenance. At least, that is always their tale upon discovery. But it is only the liquor that goes missing.
Do you know the way to these ruins?
Many paths lead there. If you are prepared for a walk, you may take the path that lies 30 meters in that direction.
Thank you very much, brother. I would not at all be surprised if my brother is discovered to be the architect of your recent thefts, as he may well be hiding within the forest ruins. Sadly, for some time now, he has suffered from an addiction to strong drink. Please allow me to indemnify these losses on my brother's behalf. I'm afraid it will have to come from his share of the inheritance. Goodbye.
Good luck, my brother.
Not very engaging. It must be an indication, but why? What can it be? Is it near there? I can go no further. I can go no further. I smell smoke. My word, I can't see anything. I must light the lamp. I can't see a thing. Ah, now I see better. This is ink. It is not English, and it fell on the floor maybe 2-3 days ago. Someone has slept here. A bottle of liqueur from the Richmond Abbey. All these papers were gathered and burned. I need to find evidence somewhere else. Footsteps, size 10. I was positive. It moves. Very interesting. These letters are faded and illegible. This ink is not made in England. These letters are faded and illegible. Let us return to Sherringford Hall.
Oh, Dr. Watson, beg pardon for imposing on you, but I must get a message to Inspector Lestrade, and he is just inside, and I am sure that he would be most eager to assist you. No, it would be better if he would hear this from you rather than myself. The present situation requires me to be elsewhere. Please be good enough to tell Inspector Lestrade that I renounce any rights to the succession. Also, I will not be at my offices. I would not wish him to waste time looking for me there. Goodbye, and I thank you for your kind assistance, Dr. Watson.
I was upstairs and I could have sworn I just saw that blasted scoundrel Grimble through the window.
Yes, you are right. But you have no chance of catching him now. He has run away as if the very devil himself were after him.
It is not the devil that's after him, but myself. He would fare better if it were the devil on his trail.
He gave me a message for you, Lestrade. He said he renounces any rights to the succession.
What do you say? This is astonishing news. This will not prevent me from finding him. I want to know how it so happens that a dead man is found in a building to which only Grimble is known to possess the keys. By the way, where is our great detective? Oh, here he comes now.
Hello, gentlemen. What were you discussing?
Grimble has renounced all possible rights to the succession of Bromsby Enterprises.
But that does nothing to alter the fact that he is the ideal guilty party. Sir Bromsby had very important news that he intended to announce on the day of his death. What if this surprise news was the ouster of Grimble and Bromsby's intent to name his own daughter to succeed him? Do you think something otherwise, Holmes?
No, it is nothing. May I ask you a question, Lestrade? Would it be possible to keep this new information about Grimble from Miss Bromsby, but for a few days?
It's a deuced odd request, but I presume that you must have your reasons. I will do my best to keep this information private till the day after tomorrow.
Thank you, Lestrade. By the way, I would like to speak with Miss Bromsby. Where can I find her?
I do believe she's with her faithful knight in her sitting room. This gentleman never, so to speak, leaves her side. If this story spares them any further pain, no doubt they will soon be renowned as the most beautiful couple in London. I am trying not to think about it, but my heart feels heavy that I may have been an instrument of their sorrow.
By the way, my brother Mycroft has answered one of my letters, and his information seems to be most interesting. You can look at it if you would like. I have had a copy made for you. I hear laughter coming from the powder room.
Good afternoon, Mr. Holmes. James has just been showing me the photographs from his hunts.
Oh, but I wasn't the only hunter.
My respects, Miss Bromsby. Hello, Lieutenant. If I could have a look. I must say, this is quite a handsome specimen, but it is surprising how light it appears.
That bull weighed near 1,000 stones.
No, beg pardon. I was referring to your portfolio.
That is but another souvenir of my travels to Africa.
I came here specifically to inform you that everything goes well with the case, Miss Bromsby. But I need to ask you a question of a more personal nature. If the Lieutenant would be so gallant as to give us a moment of privacy.
Your servant, Mr. Holmes. I will retire to the smoking room.
Does this photograph belong to you?
Yes, it's mine. This is the photo of an actress who was with a touring London company. They gave a performance at the town near my boarding school in Switzerland. This is Miss Davenport. She was kind enough to meet with us in her dressing room after the show.
And how would you describe this actress?
Oh, she was fascinating, on the stage and in life as well. She personally inscribed this likeness for me. You see, they were available for purchase during the intermission. She was so very beautiful.
Pray, continue.
When I met with her, she showed me this beautiful earring that she wore. It was in the shape of a wave with foam, made entirely of sparkling stones. It's strange, but I have never talked about this with anyone till now. I do hope I see her again someday.
Perhaps. Now, listen to me, my dear child. I must ask you to speak to no one about our conversation, not under any circumstances. The discovery of the truth rests on your silence. I've got to go now.
I understand.
This lieutenant seems a very commendable person. Miss Lavinia is fortunate to have him near. Lestrade was saying that he has found more evidence of Grimble's trail. The corpse we found at the cement factory may well have been an accomplice and the true murderer of Sir Bromsby. Grimble could have easily obtained an invitation for him to the reception. Then, some time after the deed was done, Grimble eliminated his accomplice to prevent his speaking. Or perhaps not. Whatever are you musing about, Holmes? Holmes?
What is it, Watson?
Blast it, Holmes. You haven't heard a word that I have said.
It is of no consequence. Tell me, have you had the opportunity to redeem the item with the receipt we found at Hunter's?
Oh, yes. It was a simple matter. In order to get the best price, Hunter agreed to redeem the item within 2 days' time. Look, these appear to be real diamonds.
It seems to me that we have gathered all of the key elements, Watson. However, before we retire, let's summarize our findings. The questions should be answered yes or no and justified by the evidence or testimony received during the investigation. It is simplicity itself, Watson. We have answered all the questions.
Hello, Watson.
Good morning, Lestrade. You are an early riser.
Good morning, Lestrade. You look really tired. You must have had a lengthy meeting with the minister.
But hold on. How on earth could you know that, Holmes?
I can read you like an open book. I jest with you, gentlemen.
It's not the proper time for jesting, Holmes. But upon my word, how did you find out about the minister? I was assured that only 3 or 4 persons at most had knowledge of this meeting.
Oh, I would rather withhold my explanation.
So you must be aware of the subject of the meeting.
Indeed, but Dr. Watson knows nothing of these events.
Well, our incorruptible yet ever-practical minister shared the thoughts of the Chancellor of the Exchequer with me. They've decided that it would be most imprudent, given the crisis we're under, for a young lady barely 18 years of age to take control over one of the country's 3 biggest building enterprises.
I begin to understand, but...
According to the minister, despite his bad habits due to the lack of consideration for his partner, Grimble is the only individual that the council has faith in to reverse the current state of the Bromsby holdings. It was further explained to me that if there is a choice to make in the direction of my investigation, and lacking any new evidence to the contrary, I must take these concerns into account.
This is outrageous.
And you, Lestrade, what are your personal thoughts on the matter?
I really can't say, Holmes. The prospect offered by Grimble seems so attractive. He had credible motive to murder Bromsby and then Fowlett. In addition, he was the only individual with apparent access to the shed at the cement factory where we discovered the corpse of his presumed accomplice. However, the only gadfly to this theory is his statement to Dr. Watson when he clearly renounced all rights of succession.
That is an item of singular curiosity.
It is difficult for me to believe that a man who could plan and execute 2 or 3 murders with such cool presence of mind would give up an opportunity of this magnitude so easily. I also have spent sufficient time at Sherringford Hall to have a high opinion of Lieutenant Harrington.
I agree with you. This young man, by all accounts, has an unimpeachable character.
I have no evidence to cast doubt on the truthfulness of his testimony. We reconstructed the crime, and it was evident from where he stood he could easily see Miss Bromsby despite the crowd. Really, Holmes, I'm not a man who would hand over an innocent girl to the executioner, even should it cost me my career.
I am pleased to hear you say this, Lestrade. By the way, Lestrade, have you any knowledge of the place known as Aston's Theatre?
Is it that shabby theatre that lies near the bank of the Thames?
Yes, several weeks ago it was acquired by the Fairfax Theatre Company. Their international tour appears to have been most successful as they are set to open their new play in a week. Dwight Richards happens to be their director.
You mean the author of the threatening letter that we found on Bromsby's desk? I must admit, I thought the letter to be of small consequence. After all, it involved a matter from so long ago.
Sometimes old wounds are the most painful. In fact, we are leaving for Aston's right now. I know that you're quite busy, but if you feel like joining us, meet us at noon.